Hey everyone! Today's video is about lettering on fabric. One of the reasons I decided to make this video is that I was doing my own research about fabric markers, fabric pens, fabric paint, lettering on fabric, methods of transfer for getting the lettering onto fabric, and I really wasn't finding much content out there, especially on YouTube. And so I decided that I need to make a video of my process. And so that's what this is, and I hope it helps all of you in your creative endeavors. Okay, so before we get started lettering, I will just tell you what supplies you'll need, and then we can get started. So I have this flour sack towel, which I got at Walmart. Very basic, nothing fancy. And then I have my lettering template here, which I designed. You can design your own, or you can just print one off, and that will work just as well, as long as you make sure it's a pretty dark ink. So I did mine in pencil first, and then I copied it with pen. I just use a micron pen that was similar to the thickness of my gel pens. And you can either just write it right on top of the pencil, or you can just eye it and duplicate it over here. So after you have done that, you get your tape and you find a piece of cardboard that fits your towel. It doesn't have to fit perfectly, just so that the ink does not bleed through, which it will if you do not have cardboard. And so I centered this over here where I wanted it, and then I just mirrored that on the cardboard and taped it in place. And then we're ready to go ahead and start tracing it over here. First though, I'm going to tell you about these pens. They're both the same, if you're wondering. They just come in a 2-pack. I spent a long time researching what kind of fabric marker, paint marker, I don't know, permanent marker, to use for fabric. And most of the fabric markers, they just got kind of iffy reviews, and I wasn't super keen on how they looked. They didn't look very professional. They didn't have very crisp lines. So I just kept researching until I finally came across these gel rollers. And they're pretty much just like a black gel pen, and the ink comes out very smoothly. It's really just like writing with a pen on fabric. So as long as you take your time, it'll turn out really well, and they should not come out when washed. I have not personally tested that out, but I will. When I wash one of these towels, I will put that in the description if they did not fade and stay nice and black. So I will be sure to do that. And I'll also put these pins in the description so that you can go buy them if you would like. So yeah, they are also a good thickness. If you can tell, my design, it doesn't have very bold lines. So that's another factor in why I picked these, because lots of the fabric markers seem to have a lot thicker tips, and it looks like it would be hard to get enough control to get these thinner lines. So these are pretty much the same thickness as my micron pen, and so it worked out perfectly. So yeah, then you can just stick this under the first layer. Be careful, because you don't want to put it under more than one layer, because then you would have the ink bleed through. So I'll just slide that under my towel. If you're wondering, this towel is folded in thirds. You can see. So this is like the middle panel after it's folded like this, and I've put it kind of towards the bottom on one side. So you can see that the ink shows through nicely. And I almost forgot. I should have had this at the beginning when I talked about supplies, but I completely forgot about the clothespins. So I like to hold the fabric in place so it doesn't slide all around while I'm tracing. So I found clothespins work well. So you kind of want to pull your fabric from underneath to make sure it's nice and tight. Just kind of pull it. That way you don't have lots of loose bubbles, so that when you write it's like moves around. So you want to pull it really tight, and I have found that putting it putting the clothespins pretty close together works. So I've done about, why is this not? Okay, so I put like 3 on each side, holding it tight as I'm doing this. And then I put one either on the top or the bottom. So kind of pull it down to make sure there aren't any bubbles that way. Fold it under and clip it on. And we are ready to start tracing. So I found the best way to trace is slowly. Just take your time and it'll turn out way better than if you go quickly. So I've also found that it's good to go over it twice so that the lines are really bold and really pop. Also, short strokes works best on fabric, because if not, it can get kind of hard to control it. So almost like you're painting, just like short strokes all in the same line, you know, just making sure the pen penetrates the fabric. Oh my, that was an awful pun, and it was unintentional. Penetrate, oh dear. Okay, all pen puns aside, I will get started and show you how to trace. Okay, so that I am done with the tracing, and as you can see, it looks very nice and dark, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. So I will take it off the tracing paper underneath, and we'll see what it looks like. So there we go. I think this is a great method, and there are so many different ways you can be creative with it and come up with your own designs, print designs from the internet, just endless customization. And it's definitely an amazing opportunity for making gifts for people, because it's handmade and unique. So I really hope you enjoyed following along, and hopefully this inspires you to make your own towels. And this will work on t-shirts too, and pillows even, depending on like the thickness of your fabric. So it's a really fun way of taking your hand lettering to a new level and just experimenting with a new medium of artwork. Well, I hope this video has inspired you to make some lettering of your own. If you have any questions or ideas for future videos, don't hesitate to put those in the comments section below, and I'll be sure to get back with you. Thanks so much for watching. Go out there and be creative.